Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This, of course, is another anime reaction video. Today, we're going to be reacting to more Gintama. So, for this episode, it's going to be 3940. What the fuck just happened? I don't know, something happened on my computer screen. But 3940, very excited to check this out. And we're going to be getting to the 40 episode mark, which should probably mean... Wait, no. The OP change from the first one to the second one at like the 24-25 episode mark, from what I remember. So there'll only be 50 or something like that when the third OP probably comes in. It's a rough guess of mine. Something I did enjoy was the change up for the new ED. I like the new ED so far, from what I remember last time. It's been a little while, well, a day so to speak, but I haven't listened to it since, and I've only heard it one time. But that's completely off topic. We're about to get started with episode 39 and 40 of Gintama. As always, check the link in the description to get the uncut reaction on either Pixel Train or BitChute, and then come back here for the discussion. Man, that was a really good episode. I love that episode a lot. Getting to see an episode pretty much all about Katsura, that was awesome. That was really cool. And aside from a lot of the great comedy, it was so cool to see like Katsura be exposed to that whole thing, because even though he's sort of got a good cause here, because the Amanto invasion was just that, it was an invasion, so they're being oppressed, and it's been mentioned a couple of times in the past that samurai, the people who are native to the planet, are treated poorly by the Amantos, which I can totally see. They're treated as like second-class citizens because, you know, they're not superly technologically advanced when they arrived. So really, even though despite like discrimination, it's a relatively peaceful like time they're in right now, no huge wars or anything like that, Katsura's really got kind of like a noble sort of goal, a noble objective, something that would be beneficial to the people that live there, even though it might necessarily not be beneficial for like everyone. But like, he has his convictions, he has what he believes in, and it's, you know, it's respectable that he's trying so hard for what he believes in. And so, but it brings up, what was brought up was a really like interesting idea that's kind of important to remember, that like even if the most heroic of people are like trying to do the best of deeds, if it involves like battling like a system bigger than you, or like a big threat of some kind, human life is very like subject to not existing anymore. Like any point, like people don't bring, sometimes people will bring it up, but usually when you're watching it, most people don't bring up that thing where it's like, it's the superheroes fighting the bad guys and there's big explosions in cities because it's a cool spectacle. But like realistically, lots of people are dying that makes it happen, and that's usually not like a plot point that's brought up, that like the people initiating that like fight against evil, so to speak, they don't really have to confront it, at least at the very least not confronted on like an individual level. Like maybe they're like, so many people died while we were trying to protect the entire world, or something like that. It's like the sacrifices of the few for the benefit of the many sort of way. But I think having those kinds of people that are doing that whole like fighting for good or whatever, that end up in collateral damage of the innocent, having them be confronted by that collateral damage on a personal level with people that are affected directly by the deaths of those people, like in this case with Ikumatsu, I think, had her husband, who was killed at some point by the Joishi, and having Katsura, who, I might be getting this wrong, but is the leader of the Joishi, having him have to like confront that reality, that despite what he's basically doing being like just like a rebellion against an oppressive government, despite those noble intentions, he's still deeply affecting a lot of people in negative ways, even if it's for the people that would benefit a lot from their ends, like the ends of their group it's like a question of do the ends justify the means, and I think for Katsura, really the ends will justify the means, but he wants, now that he's had to confront the very real like consequence of that being that the people that he's trying to help are being directly affected and killed because of it. I think like in the future he might like slightly adjust the way he does things, you know, because it wasn't even, what was it, it was like, it wasn't, she said that it wasn't, she was killed on suspicion of like being Joey Shishi or whatever. It was, she said that the Joey Shishi killed him. So it was something that Joey Shishi was directly involved with. We don't know the full story yet, but it was something that group was directly involved with, which not only puts a negative image on the group and paints them as the Joey Shishi as more like, less like a freedom fighters type group and more like a terrorist organization that's just causing chaos for the sake of it, you know? And that's why I think Katsura might decide to change things up a bit in the way that group works, because he doesn't want it to be like that. At least that's what I believe, because obviously none of that has been confirmed. This is my own speculation. But, and I'm curious, Ikumatsu, I wonder if she's gonna come back. Fuck. Seeing Elizabeth, I know it's just a person in a costume, but seeing Elizabeth as like a crackhead with "I'm poor" written on it, look at my hair. Poor thing. But I wonder if Ikumatsu, the owner of the store, will come back in the series later on, because she knows Gintoki. He's obviously a regular. They know each other on some sort of personal level, because she's like doing the normal welcome, and then she realizes, oh, it's Gintoki, so Gin-san, long time no see. So, and now that she's like spent a lot of time and had like kind of like a pretty big impact, I would say, on Katsura after them spending their like time together like that, I do want her I wonder what kind of role she'll play going along in this series, and I do genuinely hope she does get to do more as the series goes on, because that would be really interesting to see what else she could do. What the fuck? What shirt am I wearing right now? Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear that. But I'm genuinely curious. So, and so far, well, to be fair, so far it seemed like Sora, actually, the author of the manga, did a pretty good job re-implementing characters introduced previously as the series goes on, so I would hope that she comes back, you know? But that's all I pretty much had to say about this episode. Oh wait, no, that reminds me. I'm gonna go back and check. I forget where it is, but there's a bit of animation I remember thinking was really nice looking. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, so of Sogo flying backwards after shooting the rocket. I really like it because it uses like the idea of perspective. It messes with your perspective by having his head being really small and having his legs or feet or whatever be really big. So it's like it's a cool little like trick that they use, basically altering the proportions in a way that doesn't make sense to help sell the impact of Sogo firing the rocket. God damn it. And that reinforces the idea that despite maybe not having the best budget or the most like the best production schedule or whatever, like series like bigger series like Naruto or Bleach would have at like the time that this was coming out, the people who are working on the show still really care about Gintama and want to make it the best they can. So I really like that about that. But as I was saying, that's it for this episode 39. So we're gonna get into episode 40. I am a little bit upset that had to be continued. Now I'm on a cliffhanger for a while, but it was another great episode. I really enjoyed this because it's another more serious episode, and I was not expecting Kagura's dad to look like that. I wasn't expecting to see Kagura's dad at all. I thought it was gonna be like one of those like things, one of those kind of like who is Elizabeth underneath the outfit. I figured there's just gonna be like a question that never gets answered because it doesn't really matter. Like the mystery of it is kind of part of the charm or something like that, where it's just like you never really totally know everything there is to know about the world of Gintama. But the fact that he did show up actually is kind of an interesting thing because yeah, Kagura is a really young girl, at least by human standards, whatever. He's like what, 12 or 14 years old, and she ran away from home to Edo, and this is kind of like a good refresher on why she came here because she doesn't really have any. To be fair, like nobody has motivation to do like for a grand goal, which is, you know, a cool, interesting aspect of the story to have. But it's kind of reiterating why she came here in the first place, and then having conflicts around and around that, which is really interesting in the form of her dad. Which, as I said, it reminds me of the whole dad plot point in the Toradora series. My dog is barking again. What is that all about? I don't know. But anyway. Yeah. And, oh. So it's just like a really interesting thing to have to introduce that and have that storyline because you can usually get a lot out of that. Give me a second. As I was saying, you could definitely get a lot out of that plot point of having a parent come back, or a parent of a character who has like a mysterious origin or whatever, have that character's parent show up and have that character and their parent not have a good relationship, and then basically have it be like, you need to come back with me, I'm your parent, you'll do what I say. Because it introduces a really good, like, emotional conflict. Like, I think it's probably been done a lot. Like I was saying, Toradora and like, you know, Hunter x Hunter. Those are like the two things I can think of where part of like a character's like a development through a series is surrounded around that character's parent, who for one reason or another isn't particularly active in their life. And it can introduce a lot of interesting and very, very hard-hitting, feels like heartstring tugging emotional conflict to a story, because in this episode there was definitely some physical contact between Kagura and her father over the dispute over whether she gets to stay here on Earth with the rest of Yorozuya, or if she goes back home with her father. And and again, it introduces a lot of emotional conflict. Going back to Toradora, I won't spoil anything, but the part with Taiga's dad was definitely very emotional, especially when some stuff happens and Ryuji, who was pushing Taiga the whole time to reconvene with her father after all these years, realizes he's made a grave error, and it's really, really, again, emotional. It's well done there, and I'm really interested to see where it goes now, because that was really, like, it was really heartwarming to hear how much Kagura just wanted to, like, stay with on the tree that she's found, even though she is, by all accounts, too big for it. Even though she's too big for it, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's not right for me. It's still, like, it's my tree. I don't care. Even if I shouldn't, I'm going to anyway, because this is where I belong. Even though I don't, like, belong, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And it was heartbreaking to see Gintoki tell her to leave. And what's interesting about that is because, like, the earlier in the episode, Gintoki was remarking that maybe she went home because her father called her, which I didn't realize was kind of like foreshadowing. Like, yeah, her parent has come back to pick her up. But he was saying that he would like to, it would be good because it would be refreshing to be a lot quieter in Yorozuya without her around, because she is a very, like, energetic type kid with a lot of strength as well. So, and while I don't think that's true at all, he would absolutely miss her a whole lot if she really were to leave. I think, because if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to open the episode up again real quick and find where it is, but it looks like, to me, okay, never mind. So we do see Gintoki's face, but when he's walking away, we don't see it a lot. And to be fair, Gintoki's emotions don't like really read off of his face very much. It's usually like inferred based on information we know about him. You can never really tell what he's feeling from his facial expressions alone. But I feel like he wasn't doing this because he wanted to get rid of Kagura. He genuinely cares about her, and he thinks that it would be best for her to go back with her father. And yeah, but he doesn't, like, in his heart of hearts, that's not what he wants, but it's what he thinks is best for her, because he cares for her and he wants what's best for Kagura, is basically what I've been trying to say. But yeah, so I'm really interested to see where this is gonna go in the next episode 41, I believe. Damn it, it just had to be cliffhanger, didn't it? Well, that's all I had to say for this episode. If you enjoyed the video and you watched this far, thank you. Make sure to press the like button, and make sure to also press the subscribe button with notifications turned on so you don't miss any more uploads of Gintama in the future. Bye.